Hello and welcome to your Fresh Face One Shots. My name is Joey.
And I'm Jacob.
And today we are back with Batman the Brave and the Bold. Today we have issue number 14 today, with a cover that I love, but like many Brave and the Bold covers, doesn't actually quite work out with the stories presented here, but it's fun. It's a really fun cover. Love Booster Gold being front and center.
Kinda does.
Yeah, but why is Batman there? Like, why is actual Batman
there? Shit, you're right. Because Batman's title is on the book, even though...
I mean, there's Dinosaur Batman in the back.
Yeah.
So there are two Batmans on the cover. So it sells twice as much, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Batman is like gorillas.
Absolutely.
So we have...
today we have a bunch of part twos. We have a single one-part story written by Cavan Scott, which is really cool. It's a Flash story.
Yes.
And we have, of course, our black and white story, as per usual. And I guess let's jump right into Nightwing and Deadman Down the Road Part 2.
Part 2. Once again, before we do any of this, Kelly Jones art.
Kelly fucking Jones art. Kelly fucking Jones art. Oh my god. It's so good.
Michelle Madsen on colors is just...
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And also just that I really love how much Tim Seeley, as a writer, is really leading into the fact that he has Kelly Jones drawing for him. Because there are some really trippy scenes in here that I really enjoy. If nothing else, just looking at just on a visual level, it's really, really cool.
I also have been loving that basically the flagship story is just a Nightwing story and not a Batman story.
It is nice. Yeah, honestly, is this probably like the issue where we've had the least amount of Batman so far?
Oh, definitely. Because last issue we had some.
Yeah, but now we only have pretty much the black and white story and Dinosaur Batman in a very small capacity. So it's nice. It's really nice to sort of make that change, and it's cool. Very cool.
Again, we're continuing this plot of searching for this one. I really like I don't know if I want to call it like magical realism that we're going for with this story, because it's sort of working in this liminal supernatural space where things don't quite make sense.
But it's very physical. Like, if that makes sense. I don't know if what I'm trying to say makes sense. I think it's like, I'm looking at this one page here. I think it's page 8 of the digital version. Where like Deadman is coming out of this guy after possessing him, and like there's no like magical effect being shown there. You just see him like physically coming out of this guy and then like going through the train car there. Then on the very next page, it's the whole like physically warping his skin to like change it into looking like Batman here.
Yeah.
It's not so much like it's literally trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, is what I love about the art here. It's really, really cool.
Or like this scene in this diner where a kid pops a balloon, and it's one of the most horrific balloon poppings I've ever seen.
It's really, really interesting. This whole story is just really interesting. Mostly on a visual level, but it's cool.
Feels like Seeley's trying to like review just the idea of the circus and of travelers, and like we're dealing with, again, it's just sort of this weird space, setting a tone because we know we have Kelly Jones on art, so we're going to use it, as well as kind of leaving you in that space of not quite explaining itself. A lot of this it's not so much like stuff happens because why not? Like, there isn't clear internal logic to it, but that logic isn't always, for lack of a better term, logically consistent. It's almost dreamlike in a way, and I think that really works. Like, we have this extended sequence with Dick in Boston on the train at the beginning, and it's a lot of fun, just these two characters playing off of each other, as well as Dick Grayson kind of being fairly reserved and not wanting to be, stood up by, one-upped by Boston Brand. Which is
it creates this really fun sort of rapport between them, where like, as for two characters that are known for being quite witty, there's not like as much fun banter between them as you might expect, because they're they're not the most likely allies, I suppose, despite the fact that, you know, pairing up our two former trapeze artists like this, it seems like a natural fit. They're not exactly personality-wise a fit, I suppose. And it's something that sort of Seeley really taps into here in writing their dynamic.
There's also just this interesting, like, idea of time having moved on that's sort of permeating this. Like this diner that they go to, you know, instead of, you know, like a lot of diner food, it's like they bring up the idea of eating like overnight oats, and sort of how circuses have modernized, and it kind of makes it feel like there's this sort of displacement in time with what's going on, that I really like.
Which actually transitions nicely then into Boston and Dick like seeing these other like sort of circus performers, and then like seeing like how they sort of how they interact with like this what Dick and Boston are investigating, and then like the scene gets really, really trippy with this guy in the crowd that starts like screaming at them and like shooting fire from his mouth, and Kelly Jones then just gets to go absolutely insane with the art, and maybe it is the Kelly Jonesness of it all, but especially from the point where we start like reintroducing our teased sort of creature from the last issue, when he starts interacting with Boston again. I kind of got like maybe slightly kind of Sandman vibes from this, and again, maybe it is just the Kelly Jones 90s.
I think that's just the Kelly Jones art.
Yeah.
But I think it also knows what it's doing.
Also, there's totally this one character in here that I think looks a lot like oh god, I can't think of which one it is. Cain or Abel.
Cain.
And Cain. Yes, yeah, it looks like Cain towards the end of this story here. Then also, I think Dead Man straight up looks like one of the Endless at the end here. Like, yeah. Come on, with the black eyes and all that. Like, it's awesome. I wonder if that's on purpose. It might be. It very much might be.
I mean, it's Kelly Jones, so probably.
Yeah. Very, very fun. Very cool. Yeah, just absolutely trippy. A great time, and I cannot wait for the last part.
Yeah, I love just sort of just the reflective nature of this story too, and like sort of I love the way that we end this with this sort of cliffhanger of everything coming into the light, as it were. Mm-hmm. I don't know if next time is going to be the conclusion. I don't know if this is just going to be 3 or 4 parts.
It might be 4 actually. Yeah, because it doesn't say to be concluded. It says to be continued.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might have more. Which
I would not complain. Also, the story felt really like this second part was extended a little bit.
It seems that way. Yeah, because it's nearly 30-ish pages almost.
Yeah, it feels like a full issue.
Yeah, so that's always cool to have.
It's very it helps let the story breathe, which hopefully means it's going to get like honestly, because I know they collected the winning card in its own trade. Hopefully this gets its own like little 4-issue trade.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Next we have Time Jerks Part 2. Talk about tonal whiplash. Yeah, we've got Booster Gold living in the altered future where the dinosaurs just kind of kept on living. I do love that Booster Gold's first reaction to this is just to maybe see if he can just keep on living normally in this time. Like,
yeah, he doesn't care.
Love that. He just tries. He's like, you know, maybe instead of actually trying to fix this, maybe I could just keep living here. And see
even a small apartment for Booster Gold is enormous.
Yeah.
Like, it would be fine. And I find it funny that the thing that gets him to be like, no, I need to fix this is no cheeseburgers.
Yep. I mean, hey, it's I suppose it's valid. Again, I have not read Jurassic League, and I feel like I really should. But also, I do appreciate that this story is just kind of presenting the Jurassic League on its own terms, just being like, this is how it just kind of is now, rather than being like, read Jurassic League to understand this. It's just fun.
This isn't really a Jurassic League story. It's a Booster Gold story.
Yeah.
He's most interested in exploring Booster as a character, his selfishness, and that, you know, sometimes he'll do the right thing in the end.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Maybe not for the right reasons. Because
as long as there are cheeseburgers.
As long as there are cheeseburgers.
And so he goes to try to change history eventually. And as he goes back in time, there's, of course, an asteroid still. Or rather, another asteroid.
A second asteroid
heading towards Earth once he's fixed history. Because I guess he brought it with him, I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's the explanation for it, that he kind of brought the asteroid with him after he left the past. I'm guessing that's it. Either way, it doesn't even need to make sense. The story's fucking ridiculous, and there's an asteroid coming towards Earth, and that's where the second part ends. It's a lot of fun.
We need something. We need a big cliffhanger to end before we move on to the concluding installment next month.
Yeah, lots of fun. But then we go into The Flash: A Day in the Life by Kevin Scott.
Yeah,
man, I loved this. This was really, really good.
This one was. It's 4 pages of Barry Allen living his life in like literally 10 minutes.
Yeah. First of all, I do have to compliment the art by Travis Mercer. I really love this art style. Something about just like, I think in Flash comics in general, something about just like really soft lines, and on the colorist too. I forget who the colorist was, but soft colors too just sort of complement Flash stories. Andrew Dahlhaus was the colorist on this. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really complimentary style for the Flash as a character. I find specifically Barry Allen maybe, but it's nice. It's Barry Allen wakes up, and Iris is sleeping next to him. He goes off on his day as he gets an alert on his phone, and he goes to help Superman. He goes to help Batman. He goes to fight the Reverse Flash, and then is back to his wife 10 minutes later, and just in time for coffee. And it's really lovely. It's really, really lovely.
It's really sweet. I'm very curious to what the pitch was for this, because like this feels like a shorter backup put in here to accommodate the extra pages.
That's possible. I mean, hey, honestly, maybe there wasn't even a pitch. Maybe they just said, "Hey, Kevin Scott, come write us a very small Flash story," and it's cool.
Get 4 pages. Go.
I mean, hey, if any character can tell a whole story in 4 pages, I suppose it's the Flash. So, yeah, it's really nice. And also, I just love Kevin Scott as a writer. He's an absolute hotshot right now in the realm of Star Wars. But it's nice to see him dip back into, I suppose, more traditional comics every now and then. So, finishing off that, we go into our second to last story today with The Invader Part 2.
Part 2, yes.
Yeah, back with Guy Gardner and Batman. Team up of the century.
Very fun.
Always fun.
Again, I'm wondering if this was truncated a little bit to accommodate some of the pages. Maybe not. This one gets a full, I think, 8.
I think so, yeah.
Because, we're basically exploring what the alien is. Like, because there's an alien. We find at least one victim of this alien who seems to be covered in burns. We find the alien itself injured and in the dark.
Yep. And as Guy goes off to further investigate, Batman is sort of left inside here, and he's sort of I can't tell if he's quite attacked or I guess it's something that just it's just like I guess that rock that falls on his glass helmet and sort of like cracks it. So something begins affecting his mind. He begins seeing nightmares and visions, various villains around him, and of course these dead motherfuckers, the Waynes, come to haunt him. More villains, and Batman's sort of like losing his mind in here as he's trying to contact Guy, and Guy cannot hear him because he's sort of like lost signal out here. And we end this segment of the issue. I feel like Batman's sort of like calling for help, and it's a great little cliffhanger, really great little cliffhanger. And excited to see where it goes. I suppose it's a simple story, but it's nice. It's a welcome addition. And then we finish today on our black and white story which is The Evidence Remains by Hayden Sherman, who wrote and drew this. I always like when black and white stories are kind of like written and drawn by the same person. It just kind of like adds this personal touch to the whole thing. And like the first page alone of this just totally struck me. It's this once again idea of Batman sort of going through the same routine night after night. It says suit up, drive off, help, hurt, return, heal, again and again and again. All this idea of, is Batman actually making a difference? Does he matter? Really, really interesting stuff to tackle with Bruce as a character. I do like when these sort of like really tiny panels throughout start like breaking up and show like sort of the bigger picture, and then like eventually goes to like this big like full page of him in the Batcave. Really, really cool. It's a really cool idea. I also love the splash page of the bat symbol making the various panels there. It's really nice. And showing like all these like souvenirs by the end. It's really cool. Yeah, very. Once again, black and white stories are just kind of best when they're simplistic in that way, and aren't really trying too much, I guess.
Definitely shows off the talent of the art. And the big conclusion is that the difference that Bruce is making is that the evidence remains, and we end on this final shot of the Batcave, and we have great ending for the issue. Very good stuff. Great issue overall.
Oh yeah, did we totally? I know we said Bruce was barely in this. We totally forgot that he was in the Guy Gardner story somehow. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how we totally glossed over that.
I mean, the Guy Gardner story is the one where he's the most present. I mean, and he's briefly in the Flash story.
Yeah, very briefly.
Honestly,
actually,
it feels
I guess technically Batman appears in all but one of these stories. I think we kind of completely missed the mark on that one.
I mean, I think it's because the Nightwing Dead Man story. This is so much. It's
Yeah, it is definitely the longest story of the issue.
Yeah, it's 30 pages. It's enough to fill a full issue by itself.
But yeah, another month, another solid issue of Batman the Brave and the Bold. We're recording a bunch of these right now for those that are keeping up. So if you do keep up with all of our one-shots, we have a lot going on right now. We're doing this, obviously. Last week, we at least kind of had a break with only one issue of Wonder Woman. But we also have the end of House of Brainiac that we read this week coming out soon, or maybe already out. I don't know how I'm releasing these. There are so many to edit. So we have the House of Brainiac that ended the last two issues, in addition to Absolute Power, which is a follow-up to House of Brainiac, and also the start of a new event. We're gonna be so busy. It's so much.
This week, it's that we're also doing the DC Pride special. This week.
Yeah, so much.
So many.
A very late Pride month. So yeah.
Time got away from us.
Yeah, it happened.
And they bumped. The big problem was they bumped the Honestly, they bumped the Action issue a week.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they should have released Action 2 weeks ago, Superman a week ago, and had Absolute Power Ground Zero out this week. Because they directly follow one another. Anyway, I won't rant too much. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Check out our link trees and everything if you want to follow us elsewhere. Those will be in the description below. Cannot speak today. I don't know why I can't speak today. Anyway, those will all be down there, as well as a link to the Amazon digital issue that you can buy. That'll all be down there. Check out other Fresh Face one-shots. Already plugged all those, and the main podcast, Fresh Face Comics. We're starting up a Marvel block with Spider-Man and some things coming up after that. So check all that out. But I guess
maybe have already started, depending on when this comes out.
Maybe. I really don't know. I can't be sure. But thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan
and Jacob Licklater.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.